Let's look at some stocks. So the request was for IMUX, which is Immunic, a small, very small biopharma. Bitcoin's down. If you're short small, there's a level, it might make sense to go long Bitcoin for a trade, but I hate to tell you this, I have no clue. Yeah, I am still short all the quantum stocks, and as I said last week, the ride up makes you so depressed that when it comes for the ride down, you don't get greedy enough to keep shorting them. You get depressed, so you need to be shorting them on the ride down too.
Order partially filled.
You typically are just so, you feel so violated after shorting, losing money, that, you know, it's like, I can't ever do that again. And it's like, no, hold on, that was your plan. Your plan was to, things were riding like a rocket ship, and your plan was to say, okay, I'm gonna short a little bit more, short a little bit more, reaches its peak, and I'm gonna really go ham. But by the time the rocket reaches its peak, most people say, oh man, that was so painful, I never want to do that again. If you survived it, which a lot of people don't know how to survive that. You know, if you go into a short where stock's just gone from 1 to 8, don't be that surprised if it goes to 16. Ain't that surprising. AVXL, great short. All right, so this is Immunic Inc. I guess it has 2 M's. We do have the SLS data coming up. That is going to be interesting, needless to say. So these guys have an MS study, and it looks like the market doesn't think it's going to work for obvious reasons. The stock's so low that the market can't possibly think it's going to be successful. Well, let's see. The February vol is probably what you want to look at. 𝗕𝗢𝗑𝗪 is the name of their drug. 𝗕𝗢𝗪𝗑𝗪. No, 𝗕𝗢𝗪𝗑𝗪. 𝗕𝗢𝗪𝗑𝗪. There's no sophisticated way to say it. 𝗕𝗢𝗪𝗑𝗪. I wanna be baggy bags. So anytime we start calling people baggies, it's probably a good time for the humility check. We all baggies some days. Be a bag holder. Do you really want to profit forever, my baggie? Ooh, MicroStrategy dropping. No, but Beth's still our boy. Beth quit quantum, I think correctly so, and he's got a lot of things cooking at his company. Quantum is no more baggies to pass the bag to. So now the baggies get bored and they move on to something else. And they also are long QSI, which is not a quantum stock either, which is really funny. And they want to run that. So to run that, you got to sell your 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏 stock. QMCO has been there from the start, but they just found out about QSI. So there's when you're suffering from bagatosis, bagatosis can affect not just the patient but the whole family. Is showing symptoms of bagatosis, consult a medical professional immediately. Dr. Shkreli's office is here for you, 24/7. Dr. Shkreli, my wife, I opened her Robin account and it only had 3 stocks. IonQ, RGTI, I don't know what that is, and AVXL. Is she suffering from bagatosis? Sir, I'm so sorry. This is a severe case of clinical bagatosis, one of the most severe I've ever seen. There's no hope. I would normally prescribe some Berkshire Hathaway, maybe a little bit of Microsoft, but there's just no point in trying to fight this. It's a full-on baggy syndrome. How did this happen? It's a combination of Robinhood and StockTwits and probably even a little Weeble in there. It just creeps up on you, I know. I'd be surprised too. I've seen so many cases of bag holders. The bagatocin levels are just all messed up. I can't give a bagatocin reuptake inhibitor. We have charts. We just don't have good charts. TradingView charts are coming. They're in our staging environment, so we're very close. Okay, so what is this 𝗕𝗏𝗑𝗪? They're calling it a sirtuin 6 modulator. Something looks very suspect. I don't know about CHEGG. I want to look at the next quarter first. They should be reporting Q4 at some point in the next 60 days, right? Okay, they have some cash, 59.1. Where do you see, what gives you that hint of sentiment switching? These are sentiment stocks. So when you trade a sentiment stock, doing fundamental analysis doesn't really help. Yeah, we can look at evolution later. The Wall Street Bets discard, yeah. People are getting bearish. Go into more detail. Acting unsure. I don't know if any of them are in stages of grief yet. Quantum stocks have done great. Only we're in the stages of grief as shorts. Market outlook. Man, I don't have an outlook for next week, 2025. Yeah, I don't think Trump's going to be that important. Assume he's the savior of humanity, but I'm shorting a little bit more quantum. I don't want to get shaken out of my short as it's going down or as it's going up and then not be there for when it's going down, you know? All that money I lost, I want that back plus more. Plus more. I don't care about my cost basis. I just want to make sure I have exposure.
Order filled.
As I'm going down as well as up. Yeah, I know. I haven't had that pain since prison. I don't think there's any ARB in dividends. Otherwise, people would ARB it. The reverse Uno baggy card, exactly. They're like, oh, you think we're baggies this time, huh? Well, what if we get the baggy army together and run these stocks for 2 weeks? How would you like that? If you can play both sides, God bless you. One of these stay-at-home mom traders is like just dunking on me nonstop, like, you're short INQ, you suck. And I'm like, you're not wrong, but are you long these stocks? And she's like, well, your short recommendation sucks. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, in 2 weeks, it might be great. So tell you what, if Rigetti's at single digits by next week, you got to do something for me. If Rigetti's at double digits next week, I'll write you a check. I like how people really need boogeyman. My average cost for Rigetti, it's not even calculable. I probably reached max exposure at like 12. And, you know, my exposure dropped due to hedging and things like that, and profit, or losses, I should say, really, due to losses. So my YOLO portfolio has just been cremated. Now, if you're a Godel customer, it's free. You just got to type in Godel. Just send me a message in Godel, and that's all you need to do. I just don't have the time for any phone calls.
Order partially filled.
It's software CEO, actually. I think it's okay to have late co-founders. If they're talented, you give them a lot of equity. I don't think I could go back to the pharma industry, actually. I don't think I want to. Software is great. Yeah, Godel has some currency. So, like, if you do Euro, F2, focus, here's the Euro. Make that real time and watch the prices. I said watch the prices. I don't know if Anduril will go public or not. There's cases to be made for both. If you're a big private company, do you go public, stay private? A lot of cases to be made for both. Being public can be a little annoying. Godel is free, yeah. You can use you can get our premium, or you can use it for free. It's a couple things you don't get if you do the free version. There's been a lot of hype in the market, a lot of hot air, so it's not surprising that it might have a little correction. Okay, these results are coming out in 2026. Some tiny market cap. QUBT hard to borrow. We can make some margin calls happen here in Rigetti. What do you guys think? Nurr1 activation and DHODH. Okay, so this is just a DHODH drug. Oh my God, INQ is up. I got to look at Numora too, man. Okay, so DHODH is one of the older mechanisms. So these guys are trying to rebrand it, I think, as like, okay, it does some other, but it doesn't. This drug was designed as a DHODH inhibitor. I forget what DHODH is. It's like dihydrofolate something deaminase, not deaminase, but dehydrogenase maybe. It's dihydrofolate orate. Ooh, it's like OORATE. But anyway, the point is, it's this old mechanism that was initially, there was a drug called Arava, which was like one of the few oral immunomodulatory drugs back in the day. Okay, INQ is now starting to bleed a little. Good. This oral immunomodulatory drug way back when Enbrel was out and the TNFs were just starting, and you know there's a lot of excitement about TNFs. There was Arava, and so Arava was lenalidomide or leflunomide, I guess. Got a lot lot of uses. I never even heard of 𝗕𝗁𝗘 syndrome. Yeah, so here's DHOH, dihydroorate But again, you know, the key thing is to keep shorting as they go down, which is tough because you just got smoked shorting. So you're sitting there thinking, I can't keep shorting because I just got burned. I touched the stove. And when I touch the stove, I get burned. I don't like getting burned. But if the plan was to touch the stove all along, why are you surprised?
Order filled.
That was the plan. You said, I could touch the stove a little bit. And you held your hand on the stove and it's so hot. But now the stove is cold. You're supposed to keep shorting. It just hurts so much mentally. Stocks are breaking down.
Order filled.
Yeah, I can go to audit the recommendations thing at some point. You guys got to understand, between a full day of work and a full day of trading.
Order filled.
And now I have a girlfriend. Who knows? Maybe I'll be starting a family
Order
soon.
filled.
I need like a analyst helper type person based in New York City. Okay, Sava rising from the ashes, up 2%. You got to have no mercy on the way down. Look what these baggies did to you on the upside. Yes, Godel Terminal, programming, fundraising, HR, product management, product direction, marketing, sales, which is what I'm doing right now. Let's see about these Rigetti 16s. So out of the money, such garbage. Some of you baggies bought those 16 calls, huh? You thought the stock would, you were willing to pay to own the stock at 16. Don't worry, AVXL will have its day in the sun too. AVXL will have its day in the sun too, but right now, it's about quantum mechanics, you see. We're up 200,000 so far today. We have so many losses to make up for. It doesn't even come close to helping.
Order cancelled.
I'm gonna need at least another 300-400 before I'm breaking even on this trade, let alone up. This was insane. I probably lost 600, 700, 800 on this trade so far. I mean, look at the charts. I'm nuts. I mean, let's look at these charts. You guys know I don't like charts, but these are special. Oops, this is RGT, which is not RGTI. Seriously, how do you survive shorting this? It's really all happened in 1 month. Who says it won't rip again? It may not rip. It may rip again. That is right. We don't know. I got the biggest quantum short of all time. But yes, I do need to look at some stocks. But this quantum thing has been all-consuming.
Comes to the next one, and he's like, "Hey guys, guess what? Zup. I'm in this one too."
So, anyways, I think this is preparing for a inauguration rally.
These are all guys who have like $600 in their portfolio. They're like, big red candle. They're looking at their Robinhood. It's like 615, 603, 625. Galt is whatever. It's a penny stock. Like, it's gonna gyrate. You know. We started shorting Galt 2.5. I mean, the quantum space. This is a cool space. There's nothing wrong with thinking about it, dabbling in it, etc. But the valuations are just out of control. The Google quantum, the Willow error correction achievement was not really relevant for any of these guys in the first place.
Order filled.
Progress is being made in quantum. Great. Yeah, that is good. But is that really enough to justify a $10 billion value?
Order partially filled.
IonQ. IonQ still has around the $10 billion value. So we haven't even started to see the fall in quantum stocks yet. I mean, Rigetti's at $4 billion. Rigetti doesn't have anything. Rigetti's chips don't work. Yeah, I'm shorting more. The problem is I had to size down because of my losses. I lost so much money shorting quantum.
Filled.
So much, you have no idea. Almost $1 million.
Order partially filled.
Just in a couple
Order
positions.
filled.
But I wanted that pain. I came for the pain. I survived the top, and now I need to ride the bottom. Wings stop, millions of chickens. Quack, quack, quack.
Order filled.
Hey, listen,
Order
trading's trading.
filled.
Listen, for
Order
me,
filled.
it's 1 million. For you, it might be 10,000. It doesn't matter. For another guy, it's 100 million. For Cohen, right? So it's a question of how much pain is it for you? You know, for me, whatever the number is the number. But what is it? You got 1,000 people watching Matt Kors. This guy doesn't know anything about stocks. He's got some apes. All right, let me see if I can get some details. IMUX 838. This thing's been around forever. IMU 838. Publishing a long time ago. 𝗕𝗏𝗑𝗦𝗧𝗔𝗍𝗔𝗏. This is the old drug talk. Oh, this was the 4SC drug. Totally forgot about that. This goes back. I remember 4SC. There was this little European company.
𝗤𝗏𝗅𝗡𝗡.
They're talking about dual mode of action. Man, ain't no dual mode of action, bro. All right, I'm almost back to short 100K. Short 100,000 shares of Rigetti. Almost, not quite back up on IonQ, but gonna try to build that position as well.
Order filled.
There's no free lunch, so you sell covered calls, you are missing upside.
Order filled.
So 𝗕𝗏𝗠𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗢𝗏 was the... 𝗕𝗏𝗠𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗢 is pretty weak, I thought. I mean, this is the perfect time to short these stocks. Like, all the hot air is out of them. There's nobody's buying a chart that looks like this. Only a super baggy's buying this.
Order partially filled.
This was just a 930 candle. I see. Future of computing.
Order filled.
Maybe thermodynamic computing, but I don't know if the future of computing is going to be at 10 millikelvin. It's kind of a bit of a fragile computing system there. For regular calculations, it's well understood that quantum doesn't give you any speed up. A couple of things where you actually get a speed
Order
up.
cancelled.
Well, we got a long ways to go for room temperature superconductivity, but even if you had an infinite quantum computer, I'm not sure what you'd get out of it. You're not going to run Windows on it. You know, you're going to use it for a couple of specialized things. I don't think it's too helpful to do it in space. Okay, so the DHODH inhibitors are seen to be, or are proven to be, less efficacious than CD20 and some other therapies. So basically, there's no real great reason to keep taking them. So I don't know why you'd want to keep developing one. And obviously nobody's excited about it. Make sure there's no debt in here. So they have to pay for these trials. It's basically a worthless company. I wouldn't even be scared to short a little bit of that. All right, what does we got here? What was next? Let me go in order. GCT. This is GigaCloud. Quantum is not going to be faster in AI and in any space. It's all a LARP. 30 or 40 years from now, who knows? But these aren't going to be the companies that are even going to be around in 30 or 40 years. I'm not even sure Google will be in terms of quantum. A lot of people give up. It's hard to stay committed and focused to something for that long. Large parcel merchandise sales and e-commerce solutions. Ocean transportation service. So this is a little like Flexport. I love these market maker truthers that think they understand the stock market. It's okay. Jane Street's not going to hurt you. They just want to take a half a cent on every options trade you make. And it's Citadel and 2 Sigma are trying to do the same thing. Don't cry too much. It won't hurt. Yeah, I think MicroStrategy is going to go to like 200 or less. You can hold it back sometimes. Bitcoin, I think it's not just levels. It's also sentiment and use. I'd be more bullish on Bitcoin when people start getting bearish or even neutral. The problem with AI is you have huge amounts of state to hold in memory. So there's no quantum RAM, really. The qubits are the state. So you'd have to hold it somewhere else and then just feed it in. And I think you have calibration, throughput, and all kinds of like little problems there. I think the first place is just to worry about making any quantum speed up. Before there's a quantum speed up, there has a lot of things to be, have to get done, but quantum speed up is the so-called quantum supremacy. Show me one place where quantum's faster than GPUs or CPUs, then we're talking. Then we can even start asking questions like that. But until we even have that, there's no point in really thinking about the future that hard. Yeah, quantum will probably break crypto, correct. Say my best advice for trying to get in a fund is show a lot of enthusiasm, show that you know something, show you're really knowledgeable about one area, really excited about one area, learn a lot about investing. I don't think so in terms of a crypto hedge. Some people have thought about that. It's not a bad idea. I would just say that crypto has a lot of facets to it, and quantum is just a very small facet. So you're not going to get a good hedge. Good hedges are when you can really slice out the factors. The overlap of crypto and quantum is like very, very small in the Venn diagram. And so you're not really going to get much factor hedging there. Crypto can become quantum proof. Right now, the biggest number that these machines can factor is not very big. Yeah, ETH will probably be quantum proof before Bitcoin. Not sure it'll help. Exactly. Every tool that we get, we can use it both ways, right? Yeah, exactly. 𝗔𝗍𝗓 knows exactly. That is exactly right. Yeah, quantum internet is like basically quantum secured communication. There's ways for Alice and Bob to talk that nobody can eavesdrop on. In fact, you would be alerted to the eavesdropping if a third party tried to observe the state. Now, how that's in a perfect world, not necessarily logical. Okay, so this is a weird little company that could be a scam. It looks like it's like a Chinese company, but it's trading at 5 times earnings. So it's either a scam or the best long ever, but let's dig in a little deeper. I only spent 10 minutes on so far. GigaCloud. Okay, there's a short report. That's funny. Yeah, the financials look a little scammy. It's like a little too good to be true. Relative to the valuation, of course, but also relative to kind of their, like, they don't spend anything on their business, which is like, it's a little hard to get this kind of growth without spending a fortune. It happens sometimes. The product is so good, but like, they're just like, the numbers are unrealistic. Yeah, suspiciously cheap. 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏's really trying to rally. Real bad. They really want to get it back up to highs, but like, there's only so many baggies, bro. You just don't have that many baggies. Yeah, QUBT was up for a second. I think they're both pretty bad. I mean, 𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗏's probably better, but they're both pretty good shorts. It's the wallets that are at risk. The chain will behave just fine. Yeah, QMCO price, pretty much all you need to know. Grizzly Research, LLC. They act like everything Chinese is bad. It is bad. It still doesn't make sense. All they have to do is do a stock buyback. Generating that much cash flow. Generating so much cash flow. They have no problem doing a nice, juicy buyback. Created an account here, but it looks like I have to get verified or something, because to verify, I want to buy. I think it should be per unit. Although here it says package quantity 1. This site barely works. How much? How many packages? It's supposed to be wholesale, right? I'm not gonna buy a single one of these. I'm trying to buy thousands, right? Okay, I see here quantity available 65, 58. You could probably do a little hacking, figure out their API and see how many actual items are. Yeah, it's probably there, net 30, yeah. It's suspicious to me when it says quantity available and there's nothing there, but maybe that's normal. 54, 57, these are kind of small potatoes. It doesn't seem like they have that many things either. A couple of ceiling fans. Let me see here. There's a product ID at the end. I wonder if I can scrape that. Oh, okay. So let's see. It goes sequentially, allegedly. Okay. It started for 765,271. So if you notice looks like these items are real. I mean, they could procedurally generate them or something. They have a few 100,000 items in here. Yeah, so what you do is you just look at the network. I mean, I'm a web developer, so this is not hard for me. We'll be fine, gents. We'll be fine. Much pain and suffering will be had there. Fake companies.